Hi, hello, Sunday. I'm running late, so I'm gonna make this quick fit breakdown. Black blazer, recto, polo, and of course, La Mer. We are still reading the Song of Solomon. Oh, yes, and 51% jeans. Yes, and I'm gonna wear a hat today because this is a lot. This is doing way too much. So I think I'm doing this today, which I don't know. This isn't gonna work. It's gonna be another hat. I will decide in the next 10 seconds. But time to go. Bye! I'm here at the Guapchon location of MMCA. Yeah, but meaning to come here for a really long time. And yeah, finally here. I've always been wary about it because it's like pretty far away. Yeah, I like took a 30-minute train and then walked 30 minutes. Did not know I was hiking today. But yes, let's go see some art. Missed my stop. Taking the long walk, but it's not so bad. because reading is sexy. And if you're not reading, you're not sexy. Okay, yes, quick recap of the day. We took an early morning train to go to MMCA Gwacheon, which is a bit far. It's in Seoul, but it's like kind of far down. Never eat shredded wheat. Yeah, southeast-ish. What a fabulous space, very big. And I had no idea that there was a Monet, Picasso, Jomiro. I had no idea that there was that exhibition going on, which was fab. There were so many Picasso plates that I didn't know existed, and those were a lot of fun. Also at MMCA, there was graphic design, just Korea design in general in terms of like print and painting in the early 50s and 60s, and that was really cool. It made me so happy. I loved the exhibition because I've always loved graphic design in Korea, and that's one of the main reasons why I also moved here, because design is everywhere and it's so gorgeous and it keeps reinventing itself. But I thought it was just like a very recent occurrence. But going back to like the 50s and 60s, oh, just some of the posters for like the Olympics and just like tourist stuff, oh, it's just so well done and so inspiring. I took way too many pictures, way too many notes, so that was fun. Then went to Studio Concrete, a small gallery owned by Yoo who's a Korean actor. He was in Burning, if anyone's seen that, based off the Haruki Murakami short story, Barn Burning, Burning Barn, something like that. Chulhwa is the artist, and he does these like really fine line drawings, strong technique in his work, and it's just really delicate and beautiful and light. Nice, because I think his work has matured over the past 2 years, so it's interesting to see how his line drawings have progressed, and yeah, it was great. And then I was gonna check out a pop-up, but I was already on the way to a cafe because I was in deep need of just a bevy. I was really parched. Amidst all that, I actually finished 2 books. I'm surprised. I don't know what it is, but I've been doing pretty good about reading. Not to show off or anything, not to flex, but I'm doing good. I'm doing good. You know why? Because today I didn't hang out with anybody. I hung out with myself. And when I hang out with myself, I get shit done. Like this is why I love solo traveling. I'm a big fan of solo traveling. It's not for everybody, I understand, but like, I got a plan. I got a game plan. I love to plan. I love lists. When I have a list, I plan. So when I plan, I do all of these things and I do it quick and at my own pace. And because I do it at my own pace, I get shit done. So yeah, I managed to finish Song of Solomon. Ooh, at the MMCA, there was this really nice rooftop garden without any of the garden, really. But it was really nice. There was like a breeze and it was sunny out. So I took a moment to finish like a chapter and a half there. But Song of Solomon, wow. I don't know, with every Toni Morrison that I read, I'm just so enamored by her ability to tell stories in such an unconventional way. I don't know how she does it, but she like, what I've noticed so far in the past 2 Toni Morrisons I've read is that she begins with place, and with place there is dialogue, and dialogue stirs in a way where it shifts characters, shifts choices, shifts paths, and allows her characters to sort of explore themselves. And that's what drives plot, is through the dialogue. It's kind of incredible. So when you do get to like the plotty parts, and there's this gorgeous scene. Okay, well, not gorgeous. It's not gorgeous. Incredible scene where Milkman understands his surroundings and sort of like melts into nature and realizes that man is nature, and why there's so much violence
Milkman understands why violence is occurring, not just in him, but around him, but like at him. And it's done so beautifully, incredibly, with the slashing and dissection of a bobcat right after his awareness of him within nature. And this isn't spoiling anything, but there are moments within this slashing of the bobcat where there are lines that are italicized. Page 281, there are moments where, I believe it's a song, that are italicized. Everybody wants a black man's life, not his dead life, I mean his living life. What good is a man's life if you can't even choose what to die for? Everybody wants the life of a black man. It is about love, what else but love? Can't I love what I criticize? And it's through these slashings of the bobcat that Morrison has these lines italicized as almost like a song. There's a lyricism to it, but it's italicized between action and dialogue in a way that it becomes almost this chorus, this like Greek chorus, if you will, about italicization as inquisition into the black body and its identity. And Morrison does an incredible job at creating these really textural elements to the themes of the book, with legacy, name, man's search for meaning, man's search for his own name, and if we are enveloped in our own names or we create names for ourselves. It's through all of this storytelling, gossip, mythology, legends, that rumors, all of these ways of history as speech, that everyone understands who everyone is. And through their retelling and telling and relaying to future generations and children, that, yeah, that's how these people exist. That's how land exists. That's how the geography of Dr. Street to no Dr. Street exists in the book. There's thievery, there's gold, there's dreams, there's desires, killings. It's fantastic, with a very beautiful blue ending. That's Song of Solomon. And Solomon is a person, I found out. And that's really interesting in terms of name and legacy, that I won't spoil because I think that part's really, really special. Definitely a book I will return to. I want to say like somewhere between the second to the third part of the book, it just kind of lost me because I was just like, what is Morrison trying to do with all of this dialogue and sort of the female characters within this book? Because I feel like this was very male heavy and understanding of like male violence, where that comes from, and their fears and anxieties, and just how scared men actually are. And yeah, there's just like this rejection of women in the book, and they're not made out to be very, very pretty creatures in the book, if you will. So I think on my second reread, I'm going to focus a lot more on the portrayal of women and characterization. With Song of Solomon, Toni Morrison. If anyone's read it, please let me know what you thought, because I'd like to share thoughts. I've got a few that need a little more prying and digging and discovering. So yes, Song of Solomon, Toni Morrison. A good one. This was a big, blue, good one. Loved it. I should have worn my hat today, but Savage, what does this say? Savage Hills Ballroom. Youth Lagoon, he's back. If anyone listens to Youth Lagoon and was that like Urban Outfitters indie kid back in, you know, the 2010s, early 2010s. Okay, yes, so the fears that I had about finishing Song of Solomon way too early happened. And so I brought a book. I brought another book. I brought Joe Brainard's I Remember, and I just finished it. I was sort of like erasing my reading while also racing the train, trying to get home. And yeah, we finished. I have the afterword to read left, but I'll leave that out because why is this afterword like essentially longer than the text itself? But Joe Brainard, about him, he was an artist in New York. He was part of the New York School with John Ashbery, Alex Katz, Frank O'Hara, and yeah, was friends with them, and yeah, was just part of that fun circle of art that I like. I like that era of art in New York. It's fun. It's fun. It's exactly what I would want after finishing high school in like my early late years of university. Like my pretentious self. I'd like to feed that self then. But the whole book, every sentence essentially begins with "I remember." And there's these random memories that he goes through. And they're fun, playful, sad, horny. It's so horny. I think half this book is about sex and desire and remembering all of those awkward sexual moments, tense moments, and just horny moments. Yeah, there's a lot of Frank O'Hara walking and erections in this book. And yeah, it was fun. I knew what this was going into it, and yeah, it's fun. I feel like if you're an art hoe and like, you know, the new school and yeah, just like want something fun and quick, this is it. This is Joe Brainard. I'll do a reading for you just to give you a sense of what it's about. I remember eating alone in restaurants, making a point of looking around a lot so people wouldn't think I was making a point of not looking around a lot. I remember eating out alone in restaurants, trying to look like I have a lot on my mind, primarily a matter of subtle mouth and eyebrow contortions. I remembered too much wine trying to leave a restaurant gracefully, which is to say in a series of relatively straight lines. I remember over-tipping, and I still do. I remember liking to impress sales clerks by paying no attention to price tags, and I still do. I remember having a big crush on this guy and fantasies of dropping everything and going away with him somewhere, like maybe sunny California, and starting a whole new life together, only unfortunately, he didn't have a crush on me. Yeah, just like that. And yeah, it's just like a fun book that you just like dip in and out of without any like seriousness, without needing to like remember what happened before, which is funny to think about because it's all about remembering and remembrance. But you know, the whole investigative question is if you start the novel with "I remember" and continue the rest of the novel with "I remember," what do you remember? And how does that change with every decade within you? Do you remember things less? Do you remember things more? Do you remember all the tiny details? Do you remember the big moments? All of that. And yeah, it's such a... well, I did start the afterword, and it did say that Joe Brainard showed the initial version of this to friends, read it in public, and yeah, everyone saw that he had a marvelous discovery, and many of us wondered why we hadn't thought of such an obvious idea ourselves. And it is. It's like incredibly obvious, but it's good. It's great. It doesn't go on for too long. Yeah, you know, it's all like that. So you don't have to take it seriously. It doesn't take itself seriously, which makes it a fine, tiny little read if you like the New York School of Art and that genre of art. Those are the book updates, and I think since you know, it's like that last week, you know, you panic read, you want to like keep up the count. Let me tell you, the race to 100, I'm gonna fucking do it, you know? And yeah, so I think what I'm gonna do is I have 2 upcoming buddy reads with Alex. From what page are we on? We have The Queer Mountain Lion and the new Emma Cline novel. Both excited for those. But in the meantime, I think I want something... We're gonna continue with the lightness, because let me tell you, this was a lot. So that's why I picked up something light. And yes, so to continue with the lightness, I'm gonna start this book that I've had since 2016 that has like traveled to the US, France, and even Korea. And then I like sent it back home think I wouldn't read it. It was just like sit on my shelf. And then I brought it back with me. But it's the early stories of Truman Capote. I just love the orange cover, the white text title, and the little drawing of a dog, and a foreword by Hilton Alls. So, yeah, a collection of short stories. I heard these aren't, you know, the greatest, but I'd like to know what Truman Capote was thinking early in his work, and sort of like the mechanics of writing that he had. Excited to just, yeah, sort of dip in and out of these in case I don't finish it before April. And then, yeah, I don't feel bad because they're just short stories. But yeah, the early stories of Truman Capote up next. Can't wait. Anyway, be well, do good work, keep in touch.